Hey guys, it's Elazon. Thanks for tuning into the channel. Today we're going to be looking at a few different Contax Zeiss lenses. They're pretty much all set on a tripod, fixed position, simply cut from one to the next, didn't reframe, didn't do anything, minus switch the lens. All of these lenses have a basic CY to EF mount conversion. You can pick these up easily on Amazon. They don't go for too much, but they get the job done. One of the biggest reasons why I haven't switched for a more permanent solution is simply because, one, it's a little bit more expensive, but more importantly, I'd like to have the flexibility of just taking off the mount and using it on a film camera. So first up we have the Contax Zeiss Zystegon T-Coating 18mm f4 MMJ. So as you can see, we're in focus on the mailbox, and you can kind of tell the separation there with the house in the background. Let's jump over to the 28mm f2.8. As you can see, there's a bit more separation here. Obviously, the faster lens helps. This is probably one of my favorite lenses. Now we're looking at the 35mm f2.8. Same deal, looks really nice, I love it. Don't actually have the f1.4, but I hope to get that one soon. Now we're looking at the 50mm f1.4. We're gonna rack focus in just a second so we can see how that looks. Here we are, focusing onto the house. All of these are pretty wide open. If they're not fully wide open, they're very close to it. We're going to pull back and focus back to the mailbox here. And you saw a little bit of wobble. It's only because my hand shook the camera a little bit on the tripod when I did it. Now we're going to take a look at the 85mm f1.4. Same deal here. It's not stopped all the way down, but it's pretty close. You're seeing a little bit of chromatic aberration, but nothing too crazy, nothing that is going to really make me not want to use this lens. Racking focus back onto the mailbox. Again, I was shaking this. Now we're looking at the 35mm f3.4. They're all pretty wide open as well. Remember, these lenses are not perfect, but they are very pleasant to me. The time of day, of course, the sun was already going down. In fact, the sun had already kind of gone down, so you're seeing a lot of that blueness. It's only because that's how it looked outside. It's not the lenses actually causing an effect here. It's pretty accurate, actually. Now we're going to zoom into the 50mm range. We're still going to keep it at f3.4. And we're going to do the same focus racking test. And we're going to rack focus to the house now again. And we're also going to rack focus back to the mailbox. Now we're going to zoom into 70, which is the maximum on this lens, also at 3.4. We're going to do the same focus racking. And once again, back to the mailbox. Now we're going to test the parafocal feature on this lens, meaning it should keep focus all the way through. Now just note that the actual type of lens being vintage, of course you do have to push and pull. On this one, it's not the smoothest one. Might just be my lens though. We're going to do it one more time. This time we're going to zoom in. Again, it's not the smoothest, but it definitely works. I'm not really doing any zoom in shots or zoom out shots anyways. And if I am, it would probably be very, very rare for a very specific reason. This lens is not the fastest one, but honestly, it competes very well to the primes. And lastly, we're going to take a look at the 80-200. This one's an f4. This lens has a bit more contrast than the other ones, and obviously it's not quite as fast, but it also is a lot more of a telephoto lens compared to the other ones. I'm going to rack focus to the house. I'm going to rack focus back to the mailbox. It's funny, all of my neighbors are just driving by and they can just see me with a tripod, a bunch of different lenses, and they're probably curious as to what in the world I'm doing. Now we're going to zoom into 120. You're starting to see a bit more chromatic aberration, but we're going to rack focus once more. This one's a bit larger of a focus through compared to all the other lenses. We're going to focus back on the mailbox. Lastly here, we're going to jump to 200 millimeters. Again, quite nice, especially if you're working within the same kit. It also looks like we lost a good bit of light, but it could also be the fact that we zoomed in and we're seeing so much less of the frame. I'm going to attempt to rack focus to the house. Again, this is a larger focus throw. A few final thoughts on these lenses. I think they're very nice, and I think we're getting a lot more of a natural look out of them. There's not a lot of heavy contrast on most of them. Some of the zoom lenses, of course, they do have a bit more. Not all of them are the fastest versions of the Contax Zeiss, the 50 and the 85R, and also the 18mm. They don't make one in 18mm at least that is any faster than that one. Overall, I'm very satisfied with these lenses. I think they give a very pleasant look, and at the end of the day, they're just tools. You're just using these to create a certain look that you're going for. And in my case, I work on a variety of films. Not all of them are corporate related. A lot of them tend to be short film or even short documentary. The pros of these lenses, they're relatively affordable. They're not going to be like the Leica Rs that are going to be way more expensive. Of course, you're getting what you're paying for, right? But in my case, I'm very happy with these lenses for what they are. I've built out the kit and I plan to continue building it out as needed. But for now, I'm happy with what I have. The biggest thing is get out, shoot, create, and then reassess according to what you need. If you've enjoyed this video, remember to like and subscribe, share it with your friends. See you on the next one.